Hello everyone, I'm not making this up. This was not meant as a delayed April Fool's joke or something like that. I cannot tell these guys apart. They are all the same to me. I've just like about to go live. And then Trenton is like, hey, it's Lucente, it's not Doge Freneric. And I'm like, alright, that's correct. That is not a joke. I don't know how this happened. This entire faction is the same to me. I might be able to tell Vittoria apart from the rest, because she's playable. And all the rest is to me in my head, it's just like unplayable light units. That's all I see. I'm so sorry about this. So if anybody's feeling somewhat offended by this, that I told you that it's gonna be a Doge Freneric adventure, when in fact it is not. I'm sorry. I'm thinking if I can at least get the correct graphic up, but for these guys, for Lucente, we don't even have graphics. Like, if we're quickly switching, and obviously this is not my regular setup, I guess you guys can tell. So, if I'm just quickly going here, and we're trying, oh now the music is gone, let's just give me a second. And we're trying to find Lucente from Rivengard, some assets, some images. We won't even find anything. Like, you cannot get a proper graphic of this guy, because all the assets that have been provided are assets that are like him on some background. For the old heroes, we have entries on the Rivengard wiki, but at some point even the basically the Rivengard wiki was like the first thing that was abandoned before everything else in Rivengard was abandoned. So let's just try this, okay? We're gonna give this a very quick try to salvage as much as possible from this live stream. Regardless, we're gonna be running through it. Also, like, even my folder name is Freneric, obviously, because I didn't put it together. Okay, so let's try and find this guy. So funny. I just went through like editing 400 graphics and whatnot, and now I'm realizing, and I didn't even realize it. It was actually Trent who realized it. Hey, this guy, it's not the guy you're looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. Also, I'm so sorry, I don't even have the chat open. This is not my regular setup, as you may be able to tell. So let's not do that. Let's try and, what is happening? Let's cut out Vittoria as much as possible and everything else. And then we're gonna create our own character graphic, okay? This is gonna be the best we can do. Okay, let's just get rid of you in the background. What is this? This should work. Yeah. So the remove BG is not thinking that this is part of the main character. Okay. Where's my chat? Here we go. Okay, now I can actually read what you're saying. You can make fun of me and I can at least read it now. So let's give this a try. Sure, why not JPEG? And this is now not Freneric, his name is Lucente. Yeah, I think there was some of you that might have thought that I'm not serious when I say that these guys are all the same to me. I could not be more serious. I could not be more serious. This entire faction, it's the same to me. I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. Okay, let's try and fix this and at least get the correct guy in. And see. Here we go. Yeah, that's good enough. That will do. That will do. Okay. And now I'm just gonna add that to OBS so it doesn't look like a complete crap shoot. So we got our... Also, I never bothered to rename the graphic. In OBS this shows up as Sir Florianus. Just to give you an idea of how much we're shooting from the hip here. Hey, here he is. Woohoo! Never seen before. Never before seen behind the scenes. Yes, that's very, very true. Hello, Sam. Hey. Okay. With all of that out of the way, let's go. Let's leave this. I'm just kind of mad, to be honest. I'm not mad. I'm more amused by the whole fact. I spent at least 30 minutes, potentially longer, on getting all the graphics in place and preparing the background image for the YouTube thumbnail and whatnot. Like, I did put work into this, okay? Some would say I put more work into this than the Recycled Adventure was put work into. And then, after I'm done with all my work, I'm realizing that it's not exactly the correct guy that I picked. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's take a look at this latest adventure in Rivengard World. And I was so confused earlier. I'm like, he went up against snow guys last time. Why is it now dark guys? I thought half of this adventure was just recycled. But now it's all making sense because Doge Freneric went up against snow guys the last time, whereas Lucente did go up against darkness guys last time. Rivengard. Rivengard, what a good game. Okay, so here it is. This is my recording of Common Encounter number 1. It's an encounter where we can play whoever we want. Which means I'm gonna play Giggs. I'm just gonna call it, okay? Whenever I can play whoever I want, Giggs is gonna be in the team. Oof, this seems kind of loud. I think it is. So let's put this down a little bit. Let me know if this works. So I'm just gonna call it, here is Giggs. Of course. Like, whenever you can play whoever you want, just play Giggs, okay? He's such a good unit. And then after that we can use actually Lucente to take out 2 enemies thanks to his passive and a regular attack. And then we put another summon on the board because summons win games. And that's basically all she wrote. That's the encounter in a nutshell. Somehow this one guy still survives, but just like a temporary problem. Hello Hixis, hello. Let me try and update this because now we're at Common Encounter number 2. This time we have to play light units. I tried to make this work with Tana. Didn't really work the first time around because the enemies, the skeletons, are warriors, and the warriors are kind of hard to kill with Tana. So now we're using Areus, my old friend, the unit that I'm constantly underrating. Areus has turned into an absolute unit these days, and this is quite something. Look at this, it's a turn 0 kill. The game hasn't even started. The enemies are still like, okay, when is the show gonna start? And I'm like, yeah, show started and you guys are dead. Over. Okay? So that's how you finish Common Encounter number 2. Also, Doge Freneric was very likely one of my favorite characters in this entire adventure. When I could play him, maybe that's why I confused everything like crazy. When I could play him, I played him quite a bit. This is a terrible misplay here. So the idea was that Sir Matt is gonna give us more summons. I mean, obviously we have an abundance of summons now, but the idea was we're gonna get even more summons. So I wanted to move him down here. What I didn't really take into account is that the fire is now blocking him because 1, 2, 3, 4 spots he cannot connect to this guy anymore. So we should have first moved him all the way down, gotten the summons out, and then we did the other move. But I mean, obviously it worked out, but would have been even better to play this the other way. All right. Yeah, so I'm now thinking about, do I even want to move my units because I don't want to take any damage? If you have an abundance of summons, you will end up with 1 at the end if you play this the way I played it. But other than that, this is again very straightforward, relatively easy to finish this. You can just like try and take down a few more enemies, and keep in mind you still have the active of Silverwood. So here's a couple more guys. Don't attack into Shun, because Shun is hitting back. Just use the active, and now you're good. Now there's like next to nothing, next to anything that can happen at this point, as you can see. So, another lightning victory. Very easy, straightforward encounter. This brings us to the uncommon encounters, where we can only deploy mages. So, here are 3 good choices for this. Again, Doge Freneric, I like him. And also, after the recent change, I mean it's not recent, but after the change, Hannah is a unit now. Maybe not a real unit, but she's a unit now. Because I just love finishing games like that. It's like it's complete crapshoot. Like, I'm not gonna attack you guys, I'm just gonna make you fight for me. So this is where Doge Freneric is really like the MVP in some of these levels, to be honest. I mean, how ridiculous is that? You can get a lightning victory, you get it before your second turn. Basically on the first turn. Hey Pinoy, hello. Alright, uncommon encounter number 2. We have to play ranged units. Which means Giggs. Very likely. Is there no Giggs? What? What happened? Oh yes, this level, it doesn't have any space where you can actually spawn a bunch of summons. So Giggs is not that good. Look at this great misplay by myself. again, bridges messing me up like crazy. And then Doge Freneric is not really doing anything. So now this looks like a really bad. It is a really bad start. Let's not kid ourselves. This is a terrible start to this encounter. I didn't really make anything of the effect of Doge Freneric. I didn't really do a whole lot with Bullmon. Took out 2 enemies. Now the advantage is that Bullmon can now get hit because his belly gotten fatter. He's got a couple of health thanks to him eating 2 enemies. So now you can actually get a perfect score even when Bullmon is being hit. That's important to notice. And you can even make Bullmon fatter. So you just keep up the good stuff, have him run in, and he's gonna be able to... Yeah, you should have first eaten him, by the way, and not first attacked, because that makes absolutely no sense. This is Lucente, not Freneric. I know, it's been a topic of discussion for the first 5 minutes of the stream. Thank you so much. I'm glad somebody's paying attention, because I'm not. Okay, so now we're taking out another enemy, Bullmon, the absolute MVP in this encounter here. And then we're trying to hide from the enemy. We do have still 2 more turns, basically 1 more turn after this turn. So it's not the end of the world. Bullmon got hit. It's not great, but Bullmon ate so much that he's fine. Like, Bullmon is having more health than he started this adventure, or this level with. So I'm just finishing the enemy, and we do get the perfect score. So that's important. Bullmon is like a self-heal, so to speak. But thank you, Mage Rage. You and Trent are the heroes of this stream today. Okay, that takes us to uncommon encounter number 3, which is one of the harder ones. Last time I faintly remember doing this with Dorga and only managing to finish this in time because I lucked out like a crazy person. There was like a crit hit involved and whatnot. Like, several things really went my way, and otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get a perfect score. This time I'm trying and failing to play this a bit more strategically. It's not working, okay? Let's be real here. It's not working. So we're trying to build a bit of a base in the upper right corner of the map. That was the idea. Now Lucente has taken some damage, which is not the end of the world. He can heal. Granny is doing weird stuff. Like, what was that? And now we're trying to put some summons on the board so we can continue to bring the pain. We're gonna get ourselves another skeleton. So like, it looks okay, but we don't have that much time left. We don't have that many turns where we can finish. So the absolute misplay I'm making here is not focusing on Taro. You need to get rid of Taro before he does this. You don't want Taro to go into his undefeatable mode, because now you're gonna waste like 5 more attacks on Taro. And this is always the biggest problem in this encounter. And also you need to heal, guys. So here it would make sense to move Nixie to the side, and then we can move Freneric into the healing, but Freneric cannot move. Also, when I say Freneric, I mean Lucente. It's the same, okay? It's the same. The problem is we cannot move him, thanks to the very annoying taunt that Taro has spawned. So I'm moving to the side with Nixie, and I think I'm making the mistake of attacking with her, yeah. Because now... Oh, yeah. I was, for a second, I was like, how do I connect with the third guy? Oh, yes, of course, the active. The active has range 3, so 1, 2, 3. You can still get rid of him. I didn't even see this move before I played it. I just realized, oh, okay, cool, I can do this. Okay, this is how we did it. Hello, Cubams, hello. That takes us to the rare encounters, where we can again only deploy mages, which is not much of a problem. Am I in frame? Mostly in frame. Hey there, hey Kizzy Check. So, we can only play mages, and I would be surprised if I'm playing Hannah. Yes. I'm like, no, nobody's playing Hannah. So we're using Grandma Bones to get a skeleton. Then, we're using Freneric to get another skeleton, and in between we also use Queen Akio to get another skeleton. So Grandma Bones, the MVP here, we're going up with our skeletons against the enemy skeletons. That's how you do it. Then a lot of these guys have now taken some, did some damage, so that means we can use the active of Doge, of Lucente, of generic green, yellow mage that cannot do anything, and we're never gonna play him outside of an adventure. And that's how we get the perfect score here. Jesus. Rare encounter number 2. We can only deploy ranged heroes. Hello Gix, my old friend. Also Queen Akio. So we're just come on. I mean, seriously, what's even the problem here? We're just gonna play Gix and Queen Akio whenever we can. Did I mention that they're going to be played in the legendary encounter? Because we can either... I think we have to play ranged units again. Yeah. How are these units so good? Like, seriously. Okay, so here's a couple of options. We could use the active of Queen Akeshu. We could also just save the active of Queen Akeshu for the next turn. Hope that the enemies are lining up, which is exactly what happens. And she heals up thanks to the healing spot. So we're now in a pretty good spot. Here we get some summons. As always, much appreciated. Then we can move Giggs, take out another guy, and Lucenta is taking care of enemies even when they're like trying to shrub it up. Yeah, you cannot shrub it up if you're just getting pushed out of the shrub by the most powerful passive in the game. Okay, it's not the most powerful passive, but it's a pretty good passive. It's a pretty good passive. One day, I'm gonna cherish the passive so much that I'm gonna remember the name of the unit. Alright, my favorite encounter. I mean, seriously, we've seen this last time this adventure came around. So the important thing here is that none of your units, except for Lucy, are staying at the front. Because that means he's gonna get hit, and then he's gonna walk... This is the best move ever. Can we replay that? Okay, here's my instant replay. I don't have all my usual stuff, okay? So look at this one more time. It's important to move Nixie out so she cannot get shot from one of the gunners. And then she leaves the flower behind. And then this is what's happening. He's gonna get shot again, he's running away, and he's even, like just a drive-by shooting, basically. Getting rid of the summon in the process. I mean, how good is that? This would have been a relatively hard level, but thanks to his I'm gonna run away trade, it's not much of a problem. Now here, there's enough space between the enemy and us. 1, 2, 3, 4 spots. That we can kind of ignore this guy. Ignore this guy and then just kill it by moving next to it. This guy got killed by moving next to it 3 times. Nobody ever attacked this unit. This unit has just been burned by the passive of Lucente. This is my favorite encounter in all of the adventures. In all of, not just in this adventure, in all of the adventures. I just want to see levels where Lucente is running around and grilling people just by driving by, basically. Yeah, what the F is this? Exactly. I mean, seriously, my appreciation level for this level is like through the roof, okay? On a scale from 1 to 30, it's 50, okay? Let's watch this one more time. I'm sorry. This is self-indulgent. I'm sorry. I love this level. I love it. I just wish we had like an entire adventure designed in a way that Lucente is getting shot and stepping on stuff, and then other stuff happens. Like, he's healing himself, he's moving enemies away, the enemies that got pushed back by his passive are doing something else. I mean, just watch this in all of its glory. How good is this? So first enemy gets burned and attacked. Okay, so there's one attack, okay? We're not going completely Switzerland on our enemies. There is some aggression in here. Then we're moving away from the ledge, shooting the enemy down. Okay, now Lucente gets on a run. Burns this guy, drive-by shooting again, drive-by shooting, gets like in the game, just kills everything with his active this time around, and then we're just gonna run away from the enemies again. We're not even gonna engage. We're like, no, I'm gonna attack you. Here's a tree. I don't wanna attack. I wanna plant trees instead. No, I'm not gonna attack. Just gonna heal my own unit and not attack. And then boom, drive-by shooting one more time. This is the best passive in the game. Okay, I've been convinced. Bullmon is no longer a unit. This is better than Bullmon. This is better than Nimrul. Like, all of these other units, they can go. They can leave. This is now the best adventure level that has ever been designed, okay? All thanks to Kyle. And all thanks to Lucente and his trade and Nixie Flowers. I mean, this is like a perfect combination of sorts. Alright, cool. That was the last time we've seen this encounter. Let's go to rare encounter number 4. It makes me sad thinking about the fact that we're only going to see this adventure level come around in 2 years again or something, when we had adventure for all the other heroes in Rivengard in the meantime. Okay. Always those weird greens? Yes. This was one of the harder levels last time. I still remember this, that it was relatively hard to finish all the enemies in time, without the lightning victory slipping past by. This time, I'm not entirely sure, but I managed to do this on the first attempt, if I'm not mistaken. We will see this at the very end. So, we're not even having a super aggressive opening, but, as we can see, our enemies are doing us a favor. They are shooting a tree, at least one of them. So that already makes life a little bit easier. And then we can again use this very powerful active of Lucente to take out one enemy. Yeah, not my best work. I should have like thought about this a little bit longer, but it's all good. All good. So here's a shade, and then we have Nixie. Nixie can heal. Everybody's at full health again, and we have 2 more turns to finish this encounter, and we're gonna get another shade. So now the shade is gone. We can focus on the guy at the bottom. Boom, take him down, and then move towards the top with Nixie, because she can heal herself. As long as the shade is not gonna single-handedly kill the enemy, we're gonna be fine. Here's another shade, and that's it. Bullmon didn't really do anything in this encounter, so I think you can play like a variety of other units that are probably gonna be better than Bullmon here. Okay, re-encounter number 5. Sorry for the sniffles, by the way. This time we have to play light units, which is not that much of a problem. I tried this twice or even 3 times. This was relatively hard. So the strategy, as always, is get summons on the board. Okay? Try and get as many summons as fast as possible, and then you should be fine. So we're again using the passive of Lucente. We're not getting rid of anybody, which is a bit of a concern. And the main issue here is that the enemy's Katsume is going to be able to deal damage to all of our units. This is the reason why I'm playing Hannah, because I didn't want to have to deal, like, there's no other effective way of healing like 5 units. So I'm just letting it happen. I'm like, it's not a big deal if Hannah hits us, Katsume hits us, because Hannah is gonna heal it all back. So here, our units are circling up, they are all in a circle. Hannah in the middle, boom, everybody back to full health, with the exception of Sir Matt. But Sir Matt can just heal himself. He's that kind of guy. So, after we set that up, we're now in a really good position, really good shape. We can again use the most powerful active in the game, but we're not doing it. I'm not sure what I'm trying here. I think I wanted to heal the horse, but obviously that's not possible when I'm next to an enemy. Then Sir Matt is healed up, and now everybody's at full health again, with the exception of Lucente. But Lucente likes to get shot, as you can see, because he's just running around burning enemies with his fire of vengeance, which is what I'm going to call it now. So we can just move with Lucente, and now the problem is that 2 of our units are not at full health. So we need to reduce the number of enemies that are dealing damage to us. So that's where Lucente's active comes in. Then we still have a snake, a couple of snakes actually. I've had it with these snakes on this encounter. So now we're thinking about how do we take everybody out, and we still have the active of Yasmin, and we also still have Hannah in play, obviously. So I'm thinking about, okay, are we gonna use Yasmin's active now? Seems like a fine choice, so let's go for it. And this is now the second to last turn, so we're about to finish. We have a couple of guys that are not 100% in terms of health. So we need to heal them all up first before we do anything else. So Hannah can heal 1. Actually, we only have 2 guys that are damaged, so it's fine. So Hannah is healing Sir Matt. Lucente is taking out the enemy's Katsume because he got buffed by our Yasmin a couple of times, so he's strong enough. And oh, actually I'm finishing this next turn. I'm like, how am I doing this in time? Okay, I'm just finishing this next turn. Okay, snakes are being annoying as always. And now we still have the active of, yeah, now it all makes sense. We still have the active of Lucente. We only have to heal 1 more unit. Here's the active, and almost game over. Almost game over. But then we have still Sir Matt and Siad. And that's how we get there. Jesus Christ, took a little while. Took a little while to get there. Hello, long time no see. Indeed. Hello, hope you've been well. And nice to see you again. Okay, light units, one more time. I tried this once or even twice with Tana Mo, but Tana didn't kill anybody. So I didn't like this at all. So I instead said, okay, let's throw some gold bags in the enemies. You all know my favorite motto. If you can't beat them, bribe them. Yeah? I might have taken this from some politician, I'm not sure. So, we are making sure that the Spirit Samurais, at least for 1 turn, are working for us. Then we're thinking hard what to do. And the final decision is, we're just gonna walk in. And, because there's another gold bag lying around. So this means that the Spirit Samurai has been on our side for a little while. We could now kill it. But, instead, We're just saying, okay, enemy, you can kill it. So we're refreshing Doge. And then after the refresh, we throw some more gold bags around. This means that the enemy are now dealing with it, and then we can just very quickly make short use of it. Together with Lucenta and Doge Freneric. Condition of business is all the same. It is, yes. And that's how we finished Epic Encounter number 1. Which brings us to Epic Encounter number 2, obviously. Here, this is a bit complicated. We are not allowed to play Silverroot. It says no horses, but this is not because of Sir Matt or Akio. That's it. There's no other playable horses in this game. It's only like solely because of Silverroot, because you don't want to hide in the corner for like 3 turns, then Silverroot active and you win the game. So that's why we have to play this a little bit smarter. So we're first bringing Granny in place, because that means we can get skeletons. That's always a good start. Then we want to move Nixie in. I thought we were going to plant a tree. I think I tried this, didn't really work so well, to be honest. And then we want to place more summons on the board, and that's basically what we do here. Damage the enemy, and now we're in pretty good shape. Nixie takes a shot, but that's okay, because we got the passive of Nixie, and we still have a couple of turns. So it's kind of all good. This should have been a kill, quite honestly. I'm surprised this didn't work out. We could now use the active of Lucente, potentially getting rid of all of the enemies, but we also need to make sure that we're not immediately winning. Like, we want to win, but we don't want to win immediately. Here, it could make a lot of sense to actually heal Nixie instead of attacking. I'm not entirely sure why I did attack, to be honest. But then after that, we're good. We have 4 attackers for 1 enemy. I mean, sort of an unfair fight. Hello, hello, random dude. And that's how we finish Epic Encounter number 2. That brings us to the last encounter before the legendary encounter, of course. This is Epic Encounter number 3. We can only play mages here. So Sir Matt has to go. And Yasmin also has to go. And after some consideration, I'm like, why not have the skeletons fight for us again? I'm a big fan of Doge Freneric. Like, for adventures, he's a really good unit. In the regular gameplay, unfortunately, he's not that strong. But for adventures, he's really good. Especially if you get to the higher rarity stages, like Epic, for example. He's now throwing 4 of these bags. I mean, that's quite something. And then we can now, like, stay behind. We don't have to move in. We can actually, like, stay behind. There's still a couple of gold bags on the floor. 2. One of them is hiding in a shrub. That's in here. Hiding, but it's there. And then the other one is in here. So let's do some damage to Granny. Because we don't want to have Granny go wild and turn one of our guys into a skeleton. Get rid of her. We're not playing our own Granny, by the way, which is kind of interesting. And we have now put enough darkness on the board. Take out the enemies that are standing in darkness. So we are 100% guaranteed shades. So that's the strategy right now. We're taking out all the enemies that are standing in darkness. And then Runner Clue is saying good night. Because now there's an entire board full of summons, or at least 3 of them survive after the onslaught of the enemies. There's still a gold bag. That means you can kinda ignore the spirits, kinda ignore it. The problem is it cannot get to the gold bag because there's too much darkness in the way. But we can just add more summons once again. So here's another summon. Now we can use the active of Doge Lucente, yep, that's his name. And just like tick away at the enemies. Just boom, 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 shot here, shot there. Like, bit by bit we're gonna fight them down. Doge is the best unit for onslaught. Yeah, that's kind of true. Very true. He's also cool in the elite ice levels, where you can make them like turn sides. The frost golems that clone themselves. Okay, legendary we're not playing live. I'm sorry guys. I mean we could, but we've seen this before. It's not like a new level. Hey Ahmed, hey. We've played this before. I think this is the same strategy as last time. I would be surprised if I played this any differently, to be honest. I faintly remember that we definitely used the darkness. So the idea of Queen Akeshu's active is not to kill all the enemies. The idea of Queen Akeshu's active is to block the enemies from moving towards us. So we're moving in like the okay. Quick break. So what we're doing here is the following things. First, darkness. So these guys that are gonna get super powered by Akio cannot run through. They're gonna get stuck in the darkness. That's the most important thing that we're doing here. The other thing is that we don't want to have Nixie here, because that means that these 3 chokers here, they can basically play shooting range with Nixie. They're going to go here, here, and here, and then all 3 of them are taking aim at Nixie. That's going to be a problem. Nixie's going to be dead after that. So instead, move Nixie here into this spot. That's very important, otherwise Nixie is dead. Because now she can get shot twice, and that's also a bit of a problem, but twice is not 3 times, okay? 2 is less than 3. I know, you're learning new things here. If that's not an option for you, you could also strategically plant a tree here and move Nixie here, but then the problem would be that you need to get rid of the other unit that is here at the very beginning. So there's 2 enemies here, and you want to get rid of, like, one of them you can get rid of with Queen Akeshu's active, the other one you have to get creative. I mean, you might play Myvera. Like, it's not the worst idea ever. Okay? Just instead of Granny here, just play Myvera, get rid of the other guy. Just make sure they are both dead. And then you can plant a tree here, and all of a sudden, nobody can shoot you, except for this one guy. He can shoot from here 1, 2, 3 spots, but he's gonna shoot Queen Akeshu, and she's like tanky enough for 1 hit, okay? Like a serious player. Okay, so that's the idea, okay? Don't let them run into you, deal with you. Make sure that there's a bit of a distance between you and the enemies. My Nixie is strong enough at Diamond Rank 3 to survive 2 shots. Jesus, how thin-skinned is this unit? But it kind of works out. So here we see Akio completely wasting an active, if you've ever seen one. And then Nixie and Grandma both get shot once. This is not a big deal. So now we can come in with Giggs, best range unit in the game. Then we can actually use Grandma's active to heal herself. So she's now back at full health. We're good. Then we can move Nixie a little bit and either heal herself, or you could also just shoot at Akio, which is what I did the last couple of times. And then you still have the flower that Nixie leaves behind. Oh, Jesus, I was fast. Then you still have the flower that Nixie leaves behind to heal somebody else. So now I have such an abundance of summons that this actually is immediately over. I didn't even realize this. Yeah, and that's basically all she wrote. So there's a couple of ways to solve this level. I think my guildmate Bubong did it with 4 units. Like, you really don't need 5 units. And that's basically it. That's the end of the adventure, and we once again have a perfect score. Hey, which is not that surprising because last time we also had a perfect score in Lucente's adventure. I'm so glad that the name is on the screen because now I don't have to remember it. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Manish and Force. Okay, that's kind of it. We could play Onslaught. But we kind of also want to go out. It's not super weird. I'm in a different time zone at the moment. It's not as early as it usually is for me. It's almost the middle of the day. It's almost 1 o'clock here. Because we're in England. We're on vacation, Easter vacation, at the relatives. And I think everybody's waiting for me to go somewhere. So I don't really have a whole lot of time. There's not a whole lot of other stuff that we can do. So we're going to just cut it short today. Have this very quick and efficient live stream. So you guys can hopefully get a perfect score in this adventure and also finish with some extra goodies. As always, we're doing a summoning token giveaway. For that, just leave a comment below the video and let us know which other unit you would love to see an adventure of again. Like, which other adventure should be remastered. It's almost 2 over here. Yeah, time zones are weird. In Germany, it would be 11:45, which is like very early in the day. I mean, at least that's what it feels like. Over here, it's 12:45, which is like the middle of the day. I should get started doing something. I should get started doing something with my day. Before 12, it's like, whatever. But after 12, we need to get serious. Okay, guys. I'm sorry this is not my usual setup. I'm sorry this looks a little bit more improvised. I hope you still enjoyed the stream. I'm in Germany. What? Oh, we're behind. We're behind. Yeah, see, I'm even so confused with time zones. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So leave a comment below the video. We're gonna cut this early. And I hope to see you guys very soon again. I'm gonna be here in England for another week. So it's kind of hard to do live streams, especially in my evening hours, because that's when the kids are going to sleep in the same room that I'm in. So we're a bit constrained in terms of what we can do. Maybe on the weekend. Maybe on the weekend I find another spot where I can just quickly hop on live, do an impromptu stream with the setup. Setup is not terrible, fortunately. And then we're gonna do like some Onslaught games. Okay, that's it. See you guys very soon. let me try and get some outro music because we haven't had music for a little while. That works. There we go. So here's the outro music. I just need to manually click on the ending thing because I don't have my stream deck here. Ah, geez, this is something else. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Happy Easter if you're celebrating it.